Hello once again, Star Wars and Unboxing fans. Welcome to another episode of Darth Tuba Star Wars Unboxing Show. Check out all the places you can find me: Instagram, Twitter, YouTube, and Facebook on my unboxing page. And today I have a little bit of old school to do a little opening from. It occurred to me it's been a long time since I actually took out an older toy to do an unboxing. So what we have here, we have 3 Transformers crossovers. They came out in Hasbro, and I think the year is 2011, so we're looking at 6 years ago. I guess it's not that old school, but somewhat old school. So just so everyone is aware, for those who might not be, there was a small span of maybe 2 or 3 years where Star Wars and Transformers had kind of a crossover. Now, they didn't do a crossover in any kind of story, anything of that nature, just kind of a toy crossover. Now, you know, to know about me is know I am a child of the 70s and 80s. So I did collect Star Wars, and for a time I did collect the Transformers figures as well. And for those who don't know, I'm sure you do, but Transformers are generally robots in disguise, vehicles that transform, they change shape and to look like robots, and they've had all sorts of variations. And it's been going on and off for pretty much 30 years, 30 plus years. And a few years back, the Star Wars brand, since Hasbro owns both the Star Wars license and the Transformers license, they thought it might be an interesting idea to put them together. Now, the idea didn't take off too well. I mean, there was a few sets that went out. Maybe there was only an intention. I don't know how well they sold. I kind of like them. I did collect a few of them. I did end up selling some of them off just because, again, there was just not enough room. But these little smaller sets I didn't actually open up yet, and I thought I would do that because I thought it was interesting that these different sets kind of take the more small action figure size. The problem that I've always had with Transformers growing up was that you could transform them into from vehicles, and the vehicles would roll and run and do all sorts of things like that. But then you try to transform them into the robot, and they basically just stood there. Maybe they would lift their arms up, and it would be the playability factor wasn't always there. So, didn't really catch on with me. I mean, I liked them, but eventually I grew out of them. So we have 3 different types here. We have, and this is based a lot on the Clone Wars cartoon series. We have General Grievous, who transforms into the Grievous Starfighter. We have Obi-Wan Kenobi, transforming into Obi-Wan Kenobi's Jedi Starfighter. And we have Anakin Skywalker transforming to his Starfighter. Now, obviously this is not canon because these are Transformers versions of the characters. But I do think that they do tell interesting stories. So why don't we start? Let's put 2 aside. Why don't we start with Obi-Wan Kenobi? And it comes, as I said, it comes pre-made into its Transformer vehicle mode. And the vehicle mode, I have to say, from the top, it looks pretty good. It's pretty accurate. Looking underneath from the bottom, you will notice that there's an actual Obi-Wan character there. So that's pretty straight out. Now, it's interestingly enough, this comes with 2 lightsabers, which I find to be interesting. Now, the general procedure of setting up these figures is pretty straightforward, but I do like to just take a look at the instructions just to be safe. Looks like you turn up the bottoms here, and then you flip up the top. Like there's some interesting. Bring out the arms, bring out the legs. Oh, it looks like you flip them. And you turn him around, and he's already kind of there. Oh, I see. Oh, you know what I think these are? I think, if I'm not mistaken, looks like these sabers might also serve as blasters, or blaster bullets or whatever for the. It's interesting that did I miss something? No, it looks like it's good. Oh no, I see. I see. Okay. You flip it up like that. You have to turn it all the way around. All right. And then this folds back like that. Okay. So you've got... and if you're a Transformer nut and you are not happy with the way I'm doing this, please understand that my Transformer knowledge is very old. It's been a long time. So there you go. You got your Obi-Wan Kenobi thing. It's got a little bit of playability. You know, it's got the arms moving. You know, it's got definitely more action figure mode. If I can just get it to stand. It's a little bit weight-wise, kind of leaning back and forth. Come on there, Obi-Wan. Or we can always do with the old genuflect pose, which is my cheat for letting it be screen accurate. All right, so there's Obi-Wan. Okay, now it's nice that these 3 different items are 3 different types of ships, so that means that they're going to have a different type of setup procedure. So that's good. Well, something a little different. I also like the size of these. They're not too big. So being that they're not too big, they don't take up too much room. One of the biggest worries that every collector has is trying to keep track of everything. One nice thing about it, when you keep things in the box, is that they're easy to, all the information's on the box. The year it came out, exactly what it is, the name, everything else. I have a whole series of action figures that I took out of the box, but some of them I have no idea who the characters are. They may not have, they've only existed in one episode of the Clone Wars, or they were a background character from, Revenge of the Sith or something. So sometimes what I'll do is I'll cut the name off of the card and leave it in the little display pack for the, so I can look back and say, oh, that's who that is. But, that's the one downside I feel about taking things out of the package. But, it's okay. All right, so what do we got here? We got some of this stuff. It's like oh, I see. You open it up. Oh. Oh yeah, you gotta take his little. Oh, flip the whole thing around. That's what you're doing. Okay. Flip it around. Bring out his arms. Obviously very Japanese influenced because of the nature of where Transformers came from. This one looks like one arm comes out, but the other arm doesn't seem to want to come out. Oh, there we go. And then take the feet. Oop. I'm looking to... His feet are a little bit more of a challenge. Oop. I think I see what to do there. Okay, they come out sideways. It's very clever how they come up with this. I'd love to be in the workroom of Hasbro when they sit there and try to figure out exactly, okay, how do we do this? How are we going to make this transform or that transform? Okay. And that's that. And then we got our little lightsabers. The double lightsabers. I will do pictures of these so you can see what they look like, both transformed and untransformed. Okay, this one, he's a little bit harder to kind of get around here. All right. Oh, but he stood. Went up over Obi-Wan, so that's cool. All right. So you have your Obi-Wan, you have your Anakin, okay? If I'm not mistaken, I just want to read one thing here. I'm going to read the Anakin. All right, this is the promo in the back. Anakin Skywalker flies his starfighter into battle against droid tri-fighters in space, then changes the vehicle into a mech to fight super battle droids on the planet below. So it's like, I think the way they kind of explain it is that if you can imagine that in the ship version of this, there is a little Anakin Skywalker in the co-pilot seat, right? And then he has the ability to transform the ship into a mech, I guess you could call it a very large battle droid that can fight other battle droids. It's a little far-fetched, I guess, but, somewhat believable. Come on. Except he doesn't want to stand. Let's read what General Grievous says. General Grievous pilots his starfighter in a space battle with Obi-Wan Kenobi, then converts his fighter into a mech and unleashes his lightsabers to duel his Jedi enemy. Okay, so some people weren't really too keen on the whole Transformer crossover idea. I don't really mind it, for the sake of the toy. Sometimes it's like back in the, you got to remember, I'm a child of the 70s, and one of the first things that they came out with, and I'll show you this in a future episode, because I have one of them. They came out with the Star Wars, Luke Skywalker, and Darth Vader conversion vans. You heard me right. They were conversion vans that were models. Or I think they also had some that had pull strings and it would run. They had nothing to do with Star Wars except that they had the paint scheme of Luke Skywalker on it. Imagine them trying to explain that back in the day. That would have been hysterical. So, growing up with stuff like that, the Transformers seem kind of harmless. All right, so here's your General Grievous starfighter. Okay, looks like we start right away. Looks like we pull apart the legs. It's funny is that sometimes these things, they're there we go. They're kind of held together. It's not just about being together. They're kind of snapped together, and I always get a little nervous about pulling them apart. Like that. It's okay. Snapped it right back in. There we go. The only problem is that one was... Okay, Grievous. There we go. There's a way to extend the legs. Okay, and then... Well, Grievous comes apart a lot. So what are you going to do? Trying to see if I can spin him around. I don't know if I can. They turn in. I think that's it. It doesn't look like they're meant to do anything else. All right, but the arms come out. Oh, and it looks like... Okay, it looks like General Grievous is a little bit more simple. Doesn't look like... It just looks like his legs kind of spin around. All right, so let's see if he can do the stand test. All right, Grievous. Stand up. Well, he has his sabers to help. It's just that they're really heavy on the back, so I think I'm going to use his sabers to kind of help prop him up. There we go. All right, so there we have 3 of the Transformer smaller figure units: Obi-Wan Kenobi, General Grievous, Anakin Skywalker. And they're pretty cool. They have a cool posability factor. What's nice about them is that you can pose them as their figures, or you can transform them into vehicles and pose them as vehicles. Sometimes I like to do that and not tell people when I walk past it, and I go, oh, look, it's a, because I have a few others. I have a Darth Vader TIE Fighter. They have like 2 or 3 others that I opened up. Other ones I didn't keep. But they're really a lot of fun. And I think that they're a really cool addition to the collection. So I hope you enjoyed this episode, and be sure to check out future episodes. There will be some new and some old coming through. We have a lot of things on order that we'll be getting. We'll also have an upcoming Disney trip where we'll do some actual shows in the park, and some exciting things on the horizon. So be sure to check out other videos, like, subscribe, share, get the word out about Darth Tuba Star Wars Unboxing Show and Unboxing Page on Facebook. Follow me on Twitter and on Instagram. And if you have any questions or requests for things to do on openings, or opening, not unopening, to do unboxing, I should say, email me at darthtuba77@gmail.com. So thank you very much, and may the Force be with you.